Well, how's it going today? Top of the morning to you. One of the little problems with buying ancient, old, used equipment is a lot of times when you get a piece of equipment, it may be missing the accessories. If you buy like a little, I don't know, let's just say an amateur transceiver, it might be missing the mic or the power cord or some other things that might have came with it. So you're kind of on your own there to try and bolt things back together to get things to run. The other day I got a hold of this Yaesu. It's a FT-757GX, and it's version 1. And it had a power cord with it, but I wasn't too pleased with it. And now, nothing wrong with it. It did work, and the seller actually had kind of invented a power cord, and the original power plug that fits that Yaesu is on our end of the thing in the universe here in the North America is the Jones plug, or the Cinch Jones plug, or I've even heard it called the Molex plug. I think this has been passed around a little bit, and it's just a little, this particular one is a little 4-bladed one. It's got 2 blades go this way and 2 blades go this way. It's the Jones plug, that's what I always call it. So anyway, what the seller had done here is they obviously lost the original power cord, and they'd taken a bigger Jones plug and whittled it down. And that's why this one kind of looks like hell. Now, the Jones plug is numbered. Well, this numbering is for a 12-pin Jones plug, so it's all wrong. Like, here's pin 12, that's 9. I think this is, I want to say 1 and 2 or something like that. Well, it doesn't even got a number, I don't know, but it's horribly misnumbered. But that's okay. So I ordered a new Jones plug. At one time, Radio Shack used to carry these. They were a few dollars, and now Radio Shack barely even exists. Anyway, I ordered a new one and built this up, and I'm going to put this heat shrink on here. Now, the Jones plug I got a hold of is numbered. Let me see here if I can see this. It's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. But what's interesting is in the book for the transceiver, it's labeled 1, 2, 3, 4, which is like almost 180 degrees out of kilt. And it's not because the plug is looked at from a different direction. We're both kind of looking at the plug from the cord end. And here's an even kind of an isometric drawing. And even here you can see 1 and 2 are hooked together, and 3 and 4 are the power. Well, I went back to the original cord, and this is the way it's wired. This is a jumper for power, actually, and this one on the top is positive, and this is the negative. So my plug numbering doesn't match up, so that I use the pictorial. What's funny is, just for fun, I thought, well, I better investigate this, because I had another Yaesu that had this. I think what the deal is in Japan, they have a connector that looks like the Jones plug. So somebody copied somebody. I don't know who copied who. You figure it out, or you have your opinions. I think it's called the Tokon connector, and it's very similar, but the numbering is quite far off. Like if you get a hold of a Yaesu, what is that, an FT-101? Its numbering is almost 180 degrees out of sync, which can cause you some trouble. Anyway, so I looked this up on the internet, thinking I would, all would be revealed, and I really didn't see anything about how this was numbered, or even that there was a problem. I did see somebody say, well, pin 1 is this and pin 2 is this, and I thought to myself, well, yeah, if you wire this up the way this supposedly helpful, post on this forum is, guess what? You're going to be picking that radio up with a spatula. And probably a choice word was said. Now, on another form, I did see one helpful thing. It did say that the negative is connected through to the case and the RF jack of the radio, so I confirmed that. And that is true for this version. Now, there is another version, and I can't imagine that they made it different, but it wouldn't surprise me. and I'm just tinkering around. I really don't. This is the only wire, zip cord wire I had that was even remotely flexible. Idealistically, you should really use red and black. This is kind of hard to tell here. This is red-ish, and this is not even remotely blackish. And on the other end, I put a piece of heat shrink on there, and I don't know, and so I've soldered that on there. I'll push these pieces of heat shrink on there, and there's a little pin and a hood that go on the Jones plug, and that pin just comes out, and goes on there. This is a very new Jones plug. The old ones, what I consider the good ones, or the real Jones plugs or connectors, this shell is metal, and there's a piece of kind of like heavy cardboard or pasteboard in there for an insulator. They're a pretty serviceable connector. A lot of times you see them, they're what I'm going to call overextended a little bit. If it was me and I was a snappy Yaesu engineer, I don't know why this jumper is here. It connects one of the power amps on the inside. It's kind of odd. But I think I would have doubled this up. I'd have had 4 wires go here, and 2 share a positive and 2 share a negative. And some of the other radios, like the Kenwoods, some of those use those 6-pin, kind of those weird plastic Molex connectors, and they do that. They parallel up wires. That's kind of a clever way of doing this. Another thing I thought about when I got brave enough to hook this up, I thought, well, a lot of radios have a diode on the inside, and if it gets reverse biased and there's a fuse in line with there, which I violated, I didn't put a fuse in line here, which is a big no-no, but I'm doing it anyway. You can cluck your tongues at me if you want. That's fine. I thought, well, if there's a fuse in there and it's a very small fuse, that diode will shoot that fuse right out. But I looked and looked and looked, and I don't see a diode inside that Yaesu, so even that idea is not so hot. So just a friendly warning that at least on this radio, and in general, it might be a good rule if you get a hold of something and don't know the wiring to do a lot of research and careful, looking about and careful reading of the documentation. I think I'd trust the owner's manual there, although there have been times that those things have been wrong, so maybe some thorough examination. Your best bet is to maybe get a hold of a factory-made cable, or to find a friend that has an existing radio. Anyway, just thought I'd show you that this morning and hopefully save you some grief. Take it easy. Have a groovy day.